Okay, today we're going to learn some inyanim, basically segula from the Gemaras, segulos, how to become wealthy and stay away from poverty, and it's how it also translates to halacha. We're going to divide it to a few parts. We're going to do one part today and maybe second or third part next week. So, the Gemara in Psochim, Daf Kuf Yud Aleph Amud Beis. The Gemara says over there what you should stay away in order to chase away the poverty from the house. The Gemara says like this: Tlai beveisa kosher la'aniyusa kedamar inche talo silto tolo mazoina. It says if you have a basket with a bread in the house, meaning it's not sitting, sitting somewhere, it's just hanging. You put on a hook and you put over there a basket with a bread or bag with a bread. It's kosher la'aniyusa. It could bring poverty to the house, because it doesn't say, the unfortunately doesn't say, they don't say why, but we see some of those gulas, they have some logic behind them. Possibly that the bread is symbol of all the whole parnasa. People say, when I put bread on the table, it doesn't mean just bread on the table. It means they want to have money to pay the mortgage, they want to have money to pay the bills. Bread is symbolized parnasa. If you're putting your parnasa, your bread, hanging, meaning your parnasa is hanging, it's on the air. So that's why it says bread, never hang it on the air. Make sure it's sitting somewhere. And the Gemara says, it's only legabe bread, but if it's a meat or fish, that's no problem if you will hang it. That's the way some people sometimes dry salami on the air. That's not a problem, because that's the derech. That's how you. But the bread, they had a lot more derech for the bread. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, that's not so practical for us, because nobody have a habit today hanging a bread on a hook or something. People don't say that's not so much practical. The next one is a very practical. Neshura beveisa kosher la'aniyusa. If people have crumbs or pieces of bread all over the house, that could bring, the Gemara says, poverty. Especially Tuesday night and Friday night, mazikim could rest upon this piece of bread. Now, Lamaisa, the Gemara talks about in this Masechta Psochim how Rab Chanina ben Doisa, he originally chased away the shadim, the mazikim from civilization. He left them in the civilization only Tuesday night and Friday night. That's why it says that Gishmei Brachim, when the Gshamim come that night, because when Sati Gishmechem Be'itom, Rashi says, B'leile Reviyes u'B'leile Shabbos, because those days people know not to go on outside. The mazikim are there. However, the Gemara continues over there that when Abaye came, he chased them completely away from civilization. He says, you have no place over here. I'm not going to go to this Gemara right now, but that's what it says over there. This doesn't apply to us today, the mazikim on Tuesday night and Friday night, because Abaye chased them completely away. Akoponim, the Gemara says like this then. Isura the Mazoine Nokid Shmei, the Malach that in charge of our Parnasa, his name is Nokid, and some say Nokir. The idea is the same thing, whether it's Nokid or Nokir, that from the word Nekius, from the word clean. The Malach of Parnasa, like a clean place. When he comes to the place which is not clean, he said, I'm going away from here. He's a Malach of Parnasa. He want to see a clean place. That's why when he sees all over piece of bread or it's not clean, he goes away. He says, that's not the house I want to give the Parnasa. It's not clean. I cannot rest in this house. Then it was the Isura, the Aniyusa Novel Shmei. And the Malach in charge of poverty, his name is Novel. Novel Melosha Nesty. He likes Nesty. So Adrabah, you see a home that's not clean, sees a mess, he says, oh, I'm coming here. So you don't want in your house a Malach of poverty, you want to bring the Malach of wealth, keep the house clean. Now the Gemara says also, Also, apuma the chatzva kashal, that's also not practical. Putting a serving plate on top of the barrel of wine, it also could bring to aniyas like that. Today we don't have barrels of wine. Today we don't. So that's not so practical. I want to focus on the practical stuff. The Gemara says like this. There's one of the pirushim why the malach of poverty he likes to come to the nasty places, dirty places, and why this brings to the aniyus. So in Sefer Shevet Musar he brings like this: that the home is not clean. It's usually coming because people are lazy. If they would be not lazy, they would clean the house. So they're lazy, and it says in Mishle that laziness brings to poverty. That's the law I'm reading it from inside, what Shlomo HaMelech said. Ad Mosai Otzel Tishkov. Shlomo HaMelech is in Mishle Perek Vov. Till when, a lazy man, you're gonna sleep in your bed, stay in your bed. Mosai Tokum Mishonosecha. When you're gonna get up from your sleep. Me'at Sheinos, Me'at Tnumois, Me'at Chibuk Yadayim Lishkov. You should minimize your sleeping, minimize your staying in the bed. It says, when you are lazy, it says, you become poor and you become bal chisoron, your deficiency, because if you're lazy, you're not earning parnosa. When you're going to adraba, fight your laziness, reishecho, they say over here, Rashi says over here, whatever Miloshon Rosh Oni, your poverty will go away if you're gonna fight your laziness. You're gonna make parnosa. Whatever you have, the fish is gonna come. So according to this, it's not stam segula, clean and dirty. Adrab, it's in a way a shtickle indication. Besides that the malach of parnosa likes clean and the malach of poverty likes dirty places. Also, it's indication that you're lazy. So, if you're lazy, that's not segula for parnosa. In order to do parnosa, you cannot be lazy. Okay, so that's one pirush legabe the inyan of cleanness. Keep the house clean, keep the car clean. It's a segula to bring in the malach hamamuna ala parnosa, nokir shmei, clean, and to push away, to chase away the malach hamamuna ala aniyus and poverty. Is novel, shmei is nasty. The keep it clean is not going to come down. Also, the Gemara says over here. Okay, you know what? We're going to leave this another Gemara for the part 2. There's also Gemara in Maseches Chulin. The Gemara says in Maseches Chulin how important is it's continuation of this Gemara, not to have bread all over. It should take the bread should be treated at utmost the derech respect. The Gemara says like this: Omar Rabbi. I'm reading from Chulin Daf Kufay Amud Beis. Omar Rabbi Miresh Hava Amino. Originally, I said, he says, "Hi the kansha nashvaro mishum menikirusa." Originally, I thought the reason we have to pick up all the from the table or from the house, all the crumbs and the piece of bread, just to keep it clean. It says. Omar Limar, then my Rabbi taught me, Mishum de kosher la'aniyusa. It's not just you because you want it clean. More than that, it God forbid could bring to poverty. The Gemara says, Au gavra, dava mahader alei, soro da aniyusa v'loya v'yochilei. There was one man, it looks like from the Gemara, he was a wealthy man, a well-to-do man, and the minister, the malach of poverty was going after him. He wanted to get him to make him poor. He couldn't. Why? Because the man, the kavazoyer anashvara tuva, he was very careful not to have the house was always clean. There was no crumbs of bread anywhere. It was clean. So he was doing everything, but in a spiritual sense also to keep things that should continue with his wealth. Yom echad korach rifto ayavle. One day he ate his meal with the bread on the grass, and he says. Omar Hashtov Adai Nofal Biyodai. The Malach that the wanted to make him poor, he says, now I definitely got him. Because from the table is easy to clean, from the floor is easy to clean, but when you eat on the grass, how are you going to clean the pieces of crumbs and bread from there? And people are going to walk on it. That's the design of the bread. It's going to that he says, I got him now. He says what the man did after he finished to eat his meal on the grass. He says, he brought a tool. He took off the grass with the bread and everything, and he threw them to the river. People should not step on it. So the Malach saw how careful he is. Even over there, when he's eating on the grass, he's not leaving his pieces of bread over there. He took everything with the grass, with the bread, threw to the river. So he says, Shoma the Omar, this man that was careful to keep always clean, he heard the Malach saying, Why the Abke o Gavro mi Beise? He says, woe to me, the Malach says that he took me out of my bed, out of my house. I came here to get him, and I couldn't even get him then. So we see from here again how important it is for the Segula, for Ashirus, is to keep the house clean, the car clean. Then when the thing's clean, the Malach of Anius, he doesn't come there, he likes in nasty places, and the Malach of Ashirus, those come over there. It's interesting that this also could be, I mean, a lot of Segulos of the Gemara, if you that could be understood. There's some logic to it. The Rashi and Moed Kotten Daf Chav Zayin, and other place also he brings this. We know time of Chazal they used to have a bed called Arso de Gado, Arso with the ayin, a bed of Mazel they call it. The Jews also had it in their homes. Even there's some halachic discussion about this. How you deal with this bed, but it says it was Arso de Gado, and Rashi explained. What was that bed? They used to have a bed in the house. It was a bed for mazel. What kind of thing is this? A bed for mazel. Sounds like some kind of goyish mysticism. So Rashi explains. He says like this: there was a bed that put it for a good mazel. They use it for nothing. It's just sitting there, nice, set up bed. It could be a couch today, it could be a bed. And he says, now, so that's how the Meforshim explained. What's the pshat? What's the shaykh of mazel tov for a nice bed set up? Nobody sits on it. Again, it doesn't make sense. So Adrab, because the malach of the Ashirus, the Malach of Parnosa, his name is Nokid, or Nokir, meaning he likes clean. He comes to the house, they see a nice, beautiful bed set up for him. He says, I like to stay here. I'm comfortable in this house. When he goes to the other house, and everything is messed up, I'm not staying here, he says. I'm going away. So that's why they knew that Inyan of the Mazel, of the Malach of Parnosa, he likes clean. They used to always keep at least one section of the house clean for him. He should come to their house, should bring the bracha to the house. So again, we see from here how important it is. Once it's from Parnosa, it's not from a Baba Ma'aser Sefer. It's a segula for Parnosa to keep the house clean. Just want to finish with one thing. I said this Ma'aser many times already, that all this segulas, it just makes you a kli for Parnosa. Doesn't mean if I'm going to keep the house clean, money going to falling from the roof to my house. That's not going to happen. You have to do now ishtadlus for Parnosa, but that's a good kli, a good vessel for Parnosa. The Ma'aser, I said this many times. There was a chassid, Satmar chassid. He came to the Satmar Rebbe, Rabbi Yoelish, and he said, Rebbe, he says, I tried all the segulas in Shas, in Sforim about Parnosa. I'm still struggling with Parnosa. What should I do? The Rebbe told him, all the segulas are good till 8 a.m. 8 a.m. I want to see you at work. So you do all the segulas, keep the house clean, do this, but you have to do Parnosa, you have to do ishtadlus of Parnosa. That's good ishtadlus to make a kli for Parnosa, but then Lamaisa you have to go earn money. Okay.